Good morning, all the panelists, Dr. Reddy, Dr. Mishra, Dr. Das. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
So, Dr. Das, Maji, and Professor Mahanti.
Sir, please loudly, sir. Sir, please loudly. You are not clearly audible. Please loudly, sir.
Okay. Is it okay right now?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Is
sir.
it okay right now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Continue, please.
We can ask somebody to mute all the other mics because there is some noise coming in background.
Yes, technical person is doing that. Okay, he is on the job. So, good morning, all the participants. So far, we have, I can see on the screen about 90 participants have joined. But if we compare the registration, we believe there will be several participants who will be joining very shortly. Let me briefly tell all the participants right now. All the participants are requested to mute their video and audio. And during this webinar, they can post their queries to the chat box only. And during the and they can also mention to whom they want their questions to be addressed by. We have got eminent persons in this panel, and I will be briefly sharing their details during this webinar. I welcome all the panelists, all the participants to this national webinar on Atmanirbhar Bharat mission and its challenges. So, before handing over the discussions to the panelists, I would like to say a few words on this topic. Yesterday, few of the participants had telephoned me and inquiring how this session is being planned and all these things. When I discussed with them, I found the participants are confused. What exactly the Atmanirbhar mean? And when I analyzed, I found that the confusion in the participants is very much there, and it should be, the confusion should be there. Why? Why the confusion should be there? Let me explain. When we try to understand this term, Atmanirbhar, two words come to our mind, whether it is self-reliant or it is self-sufficient. So these are two confusing terms, self-reliant and self-sufficient. Both
mean Atmanirbhar. But for the policymakers in the economy, there is clear distinction between these two terms.
Oh no.
self-sufficient means an economy which produces whatever it requires, whatever goods and services it has to it requires, it consumes, it has to be produced by it. That means it doesn't require any imports. Whereas self-reliant is a separate term. It says that if an economy becomes so prosperous and it has resources, basically the foreign exchange resource sufficient enough so that it can import the goods and services which it doesn't produce. Let me repeat. It says self-reliant means an economy has got enough resources, basically the foreign exchange resource, which enables the country to import all the goods and services which it doesn't produce. When we look at Indian economy from the independence 1947 onwards, we find that the country has already made these two aspects in their planning moves. We know that from 1951 the country had started the 5-year planning modes. If you look at the entire 5-year planning models till 2014, when the planning commission was scrapped and it was replaced by Niti Aayog, in all the 5-year planning models, the core goal was either self-sufficient or self-reliant. In the first two 5-year plans, from 1951 to 1960s, self-sufficiency was the main goal of the economy, but it failed miserably. From 1961 onwards, self-reliance was one of the core goals of the Planning Commission, which says that the economy has to support domestic industries and import has to be restricted. And in fact, to the extent that imports were restricted and many goods and services were not allowed to be imported to the country, and this process continued till 1990. And of course, the another aspect of self-reliant is that the country has to export whatever goods and services it produces. That was also one of the core goals. But from 1960 to 1990, we found that not a single objective of the planning commissions were fulfilled. In 1953, we were having export percentage of 1.4%, which is a very much meager amount compared to global trade, which drastically plunged to 0.5% in 1991. So we struggled promoting the domestic industries. whatever we were producing was not acceptable in the international market. And foreign exchange, we all know that in 1991, we had got only 13 days of foreign exchange available for imports. So, our Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao had to open our economy. He was forced to open our economy, and the LPG started. In LPG, we found after the economy was opened in the last 30 years, we found that our economy, of course, has grown like anything. But there was a single stroke because of this pandemic. This pandemic has affected our economy to a large extent, and our GDP has contracted almost 24% in a single quarter from April-June quarter. So that is why our government and the economists thought of another measure, and they thought that this Atmanirbhar Bharat has to be promoted. We should self-rely, that means we should produce our own goods and services and try to export as much possible. But when we want to export, we have to have quality products which will be accepted internationally. So this is the background that the Atmanirbhar Bharat was already there in our economy. In last 70 years, we have not achieved the basic goal of the Atmanirbhar, that is self-reliant. But today, and when the government has announced launching this program, this mission, we have to understand what exactly from the academia perspective. Today we have got eminent personalities who will talk about the Atmanirbhar Bharat. The first speaker will be Dr. Narayan Reddy, who is the Group Director, Sanskriti Group of Institution, Puttapati. He was earlier worked as the Director of National Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Hyderabad. He was a Director to School of Commerce and Management Studies, RBVA University. He did his PhD in 1985 in Marketing Management. He worked several years in Osmania University, Goa University. He is the president of India's nominee to Central University, Rajasthan, Central University, Kashmir. So our first speaker, Dr. Reddy, is an eminent person in academia in the country. I welcome him to the webinar. And we are from Ganesh Institute of Management Studies. We are very much thankful to Dr. Reddy, who had given us consent to address the gathering. I now invite Dr. Reddy to take the session forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Subrata Mishra. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Very much audible.
Yeah. Very good morning. Very good morning, all of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
You ask your technician to mute all other people. They are making noise in the background.
Yes.
Make sure that constantly they keep all others muted other than the one who speaks.
Okay.
Technical team, please. Technical team should take care of. Yes.
Only Dr. Reddy.
Yeah.
Mute. The participants, kindly mute yourself.
Yeah. Very good morning, all of you. Professor Subrata Mishra, moderator of this session. Professor Paresh Mohanty, Professor Jitendra Mishra, Professor Maji, Professor Ajit Das, and other team of administration of this particular webinar, and also participants in this particular very important program. I am extremely happy to be part of this webinar organized by Ganesh Institute of Management, Bhubaneswar, Orissa, on a very unique topic that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. Professor Subrata Mishra detailed the background of Atmanirbhar Bharat. For every country, or for that matter, for any country on this earth, prefers to be self-reliant and self-sufficient as the utmost important for various reasons. It is proved in this COVID time, when COVID erupted, the India was not even think of having a few PPTs or a few ventilators, and for each and every item, many items for that matter, was forced to depend on various countries in the world. It is natural that when pandemic like COVID disrupted the world, every country prefers to protect their own people first. If there is surplus, then they will think of exporting their surplus. This resulted in helpless situation in dealing with COVID. As Professor Subrata Mishra said, I should recollect and I should remind you that what happened when 1991 for the Indian economy, at that time we inherited certain compulsions in our economy that resulted to force the Indian government to open up its economy, that resulted in many developed countries like USA, Europe, and China, and other countries, they quietly improved their economy by exporting their goods and services to various other countries. This resulted in that very effectively, systematically penetrated their goods and services into the developing economies. As a result, the respective governments were also of the opinion that everything is smoothly going on. When COVID-like environment erupted, suddenly we realized that we need various equipments related to deal with healthcare emergency in India. Same is the case for many countries across the world. So when such a situation has come, governments across the world, including India, were helpless in dealing with the health emergency. Actually, this situation...
Sir, you are not audible clearly. You are not audible clearly.
Okay, please check. Please check. Am I okay? Now it's okay? Yeah. This situation made the governments to realize to take necessary steps to protect our own economy and our own people as the first priority. So when the government of India faced this situation parallelly, another challenge also we faced. On one side, we are so busy in dealing with health emergency. On the other side, military, on the other side, military emergency on the borders where the China tried to intrude into Indian territories. These two things have made the Indian government and realized that there is a need to strongly depend on our own strengths and our own opportunities rather than depending on others. At this juncture, Government of India, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, gave a call as an immediate reaction to both health emergency and also the emergency at the borders. It is coined as Atmanirbhar Bharat. As Professor Subrata said, Atmanirbhar Bharat is self-reliant and self-sufficient. But the Modi very aptly mentioned that we are not self-contained. There is a need to have the self-reliance India and self-sufficient India for various reasons, as I mentioned. This serves twin objectives. One on emotional bonding among the people of the country, that we are one and we have capacity to deal with any type of emergency. And second one is encouraging local entrepreneurs with sufficient market support. This will generate local production, means sufficient production to meet our own requirement. In turn, will help the people to have employment opportunities within. In other words, Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative will help India to overcome our internal challenges and also help us to convert the challenges thrown by the COVID in the form of an opportunity and convert these opportunities into strength so that India will be sufficient and also reliable on its own strengths at the same time to meet the international requirements as well. That's why here, local production, local innovations, local entrepreneurship, and to meet the local market requirements. And at the same time, once we are comfortable in meeting our own requirements, we can also export to various countries. As you all remember that when the COVID erupted initially, the Trump and many other developed countries also requested India to supply the required tablets to meet their emergency. In fact, India did very well and positively responded. So our concept of self-reliance and self-sufficiency in the form of Atmanirbhar Bharat is ease of living that can be made inclusive and ease of doing business with a main objective to make India a destination for foreign investments. So, for the sake of information, I would like to inform all of you that Atmanirbhar Bharat, though it is a mutated concept promoted by the present government and the leadership of Narendra Modi ji, and this concept is part and parcel of Indian heritage. I would like to just remind Tattvam Asi. In our scriptures, it is mentioned Tattvam Asi is the original concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Similarly, Balagangadhar Tilak gave a call, Swaraj is my birthright. Similarly, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi in his book, Hind Swaraj. Similarly, K.C. Bhattacharya, Swarajin Ideas. All these three important concepts are mutated, integrated in the form of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So, the Atmanirbhar Bharat is a call from the three important dimensions. One is necessity. It is necessary for the country to protect our own people by depending on the self-reliance. Similarly, it is desirable when we face the challenges like what we are facing in the borders with the China and also Pakistan and other countries. Instead of blindly depending on imports, it is better to depend on local production. And third one is feasibility. See, the Atmanirbhar Bharat is having comfortable feasibility that we can produce the goods and services locally with a low cost and supply the same with a competitive prices with the best quality to various other countries as well. So there is a need to maintain the balance between and among the various countries. So as and when we need to meet our own requirement, we must have capacity to meet and capacity to produce. At the same time, if anybody needs outside the country, we must be able to equip to meet the requirements of the world as well. With that perception, the government of India came out with this concept. I am sure that this concept is going to work very well because this is not for the sake of a philosophical idea. It is practicable. It has a lot of practicality. The reason is this particular Atmanirbhar Bharat has come as a part of the package, economic package announced by the government of India, where 20 lakh crore package has been announced. In that, this Atmanirbhar Bharat is also one important package to meet the world requirement with the local production. I would like to stop here at this stage because I prefer other panelists can focus more on the various pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat, challenges that we may face while implementing this, and what are the possibilities to overcome all these things. Thank you very much. Now I request Professor Subrato to take the step forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Reddy.
Yeah.
Yes, the need of the hour is to protect our own industries, and simultaneously we have to ensure that our industries, our domestic industry grows. And that is what the mission Atmanirbhar Bharat is. Professor Reddy has elaborated the, the steps those have been specified by the government, like the economic package of 20 lakhs crores, the necessity, desirability, and feasibility of this mission. The next panelist, Dr. Ajit Kumar Das, I would be requesting him to speak about the 5 main pillars of this Atmanirbhar Bharat. And regarding Dr. Das, he is a PhD in economics. His area of teaching and research are public economics, environmental economics, micro and macroeconomics, international trade and finance. He has written a book, namely Public Debt and North-Eastern State of India, which was published by Lambert Publication, Germany. He is an editor of several journals. He has published in reputed national and international journals. Prior to Birla Global University, where he is currently being posted, he worked for several years in ICFAI group of institutions, that means ICFAI universities in Tripura and Raipur. I invite Dr. Das carry forward this session. Dr. Das, please.
Yes, sir. Am I audible to you all?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. So, good morning to you all, respected all dignitaries, Professor Mohanty, Professor Subrat Misra, Professor Jitendra Misra, Professor Reddy, and all the participants over here. I'm happy to be here to have a discussion regarding this Atmanirbhar Bharat. And to come to the point, actually, Professor Reddy and Professor Subrat Misra has already elaborated about a brief history and the ongoing situation, how this Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme has come to the limelight. And so far as the pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat is concerned, let me tell you one thing, that this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan has come in a situation when this ongoing pandemic is going on. So my first learning here is that when this problem is continuing, we all have learned a lot. And similarly, the government of India has also observed so many cases where there are loopholes. And at the same time, the government must have thought that what should be the policy India should take up so that the problem can be sorted out or we can mitigate the problem. Now, as Professor Reddy has already mentioned, that India needs to be self-reliant, and this self-reliant can be done with the help of some of the steps, like we have to move from globalization to localization. We have to create employment, and one another important aspect is that we have to make technology as the panacea that to create a new environment for development. So we can say that technology-driven development. Now this Atmanirbhar Bharat is based on 5 important pillars, as the Prime Minister has correctly said. And he has correctly said that we have to take a theme, and the theme is that Jaan Bhi and Jahan Bhi. So it clearly tells that we have to take care of our life, and simultaneously we have to take care of our occupation also, which will ultimately relate to the development of the country as a whole. So there will be microeconomic efficiency and there will be macroeconomic stability. Now, so far as the pillars are concerned, the pillars are like economy, infrastructure, technology-driven system, demography, and supply and demand. So if we talk about the economy, then Indian economy is a typical economy, I will say. It is typical, that's because it is an economy which is characterized by different characteristics, but we always say that there is diversity, and diversity in terms of population, diversity in terms of area, and of course, diversity in terms of development. So it becomes a challenge actually, and it becomes an opportunity also, that to create an environment in the economy which will ultimately lead to development, and which will be in connection to the ongoing situations, that how can you avoid long and deep deflationary situations, because many of us must be thinking that after this deflationary situation, after this pandemic, there can be deflationary or there can be fall in the growth. So in this context of this period, that is economy, the idea is that there must be schemes that can prosper the economy from a quantum jump and not an incremental jump. Second thing is that the country needs to focus on 2 important aspects. That is, one is food, another one is energy supply. So many of the social scientists and economists particularly, they say that every country must focus on food and energy supply, and that should be self-sufficient by nature so far as the competitiveness in the international trade is concerned. So having said that, in the first pillar, economy, the focus is that how can we create an environment of development that will have a balance between globalization and degree of self-reliance actually. So simultaneously both should go on. The second pillar is that is infrastructure. I think you all will be agree with me that infrastructure is the root of development for any of the economy. So the time when the economy is more developed and more strengthened in terms of infrastructure, then it is expected that growth can be accelerated better. And we are in a world now where technology is advancing like anything. So if you compare this generation and the past generation, the basic difference is that is the use of technology. And India needs to accept that, and India needs to develop that also. And under this head of Atmanirbhar Bharat, this is also one objective that has been set as a pillar, that to focus on technological development, better communication, transportation, energy supply chain, and distribution networks, which also includes the financial institutions. And there must be creation of infrastructure which will be at par with the world-class facilities. So it is believed that Atmanirbhar Bharat can have better outcome or can be realized better if there will be infrastructural development. The third pillar is that is technology-driven system. And this technology-driven system is relating to the situation where we are talking about use of technology in the context of every sectors. I will not say only in the context of quantitative growth, rather even in the context of social sector development. So technology has to be used to the areas where either it has not been used or the areas where the technology is observed to be less developed. So we need to go for one technological development process. And in that context, since other countries are developed in the case of technology like using of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and similarly robotics, then India also needs to go at par with them. And under this Atmanirbhar Bharat, also one objective, how to develop and incorporate the new technology. Yes, how can we develop and use the new technology in the context of our development? That is where I'm talking about that technological advancement like artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, data mining, and all. Similarly, the fourth pillar is that is demography. I have already mentioned that in the context of India, demography is one of unique characteristics that can be used as one way to use for the purpose of development. Basically, under this Atmanirbhar banner, actually, when we are talking about demography, it is basically relating to the demographic dividend. We all know that India is a country which is vast, and also it is a country which is the second most populous country in the world, and it is known as the Youngistan. And the basic reason is that 50% of the populations are below the age of 25, and the average age is 29. In economics, we always say that if the country is endowed with natural resources, but the country is not able to utilize that, then also the development process will become very, very slow. So to accelerate the growth, what is most important in the context of India that must have been felt by the policymakers, those who have come out with Atmanirbhar Bharat, that we have to capitalize the human resources. And the advantage for us is that is 29 years, which is the average age. So how can we use that? And this has become one pillar under this Atmanirbhar Bharat. So to groom them and to prepare them, there is need of skill enhancement and there is need of employability in terms of making capable of getting into the development process. The fifth one is that is supply and demand. The last one, but not the least one, the supply and demand is the fifth pillar of this Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, so far as supply and demand is concerned, in economics, always people say that concepts are discussed by discussing the supply side and the demand side. Now, relating this into the context of Atmanirbhar Bharat, one of the major thing is that you have to make an equilibrium between the supply and demand. And supply here basically refers to what the producers they want to produce and how much they want to produce. But simultaneously, whatever had been produced, that should be placed in the market and that should be purchased by the consumers. So being Indian, we all know that India is a country which is diverse in terms of income, in terms of development. Now, to cope up with the international competitiveness, the first thing is that India needs to strengthen the grassroots level, and that is in terms of capital formation, that is generating income and employability. So it will have one objective, that where the supply and demand, they both can be make equilibrium in terms of having a system where the price can make or play one important role. And this is the reason for which under this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, the package has been announced in the case of different sectors which will simultaneously create the environment in terms of generating income and to make the people able to purchase. That is, in technically we can say that will increase the marginal propensity to consume. So in one hand, the marginal propensity to consume will increase, and in the second hand, simultaneously, there will be improvement in the marginal propensity to investment. In very simple terminology and sentences, we can say here that the producers as well as the consumers, they both can have a level playing field which they can play, which will contribute to the development process of the country. So as a whole, we can say understanding the 5 pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which I will say the 5 important area Atmanirbhar Bharat needs to focus on, that is the self-reliance within the country and simultaneously making India able to participate in the international arena. So if you go through the entire 5 pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat, then it is something which is making the economy more viable to cope up with the new challenging situations. So thank you very much. This is from my side. Over to Professor Subrata Mishra.
Dr. Das. Thank you, Dr. Das. Uh, uh, what I will do is, before summing up your discussion, I would request all the panelists and the participants that will take a short break because of this some technical issues. In 5 minutes, we are going to rejoin with new link. This, in fact, I am sharing right now. In fact, some of the participants have made some requests regarding some grievances. What I am trying to do is I am trying to rejoin all the participants back again. Kindly cooperate with us, and I am sharing right away the new link so that all of us can rejoin, and which will take another 5 minutes. Kindly cooperate with us. Thank you very much.
Where will you send your link? In the WhatsApp group or in here?
WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Okay. Please.
Okay, thank you.